Value and worth are two concepts that are often used interchangeably, but they have very distinct meanings that are important to understand, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. Value refers to the usefulness, importance, or desirability of something, while worth refers to the price or cost of something. And understanding the difference between these two concepts is crucial for making informed decisions about what we choose to pursue or acquire in our lives, as well as helping us to understand our target market and the things that they value and want to acquire in their lives. So when we talk about the value of something, we are referring to its inherent qualities and attributes that make it desirable or useful. So, for example, a college education has value because it provides individuals with knowledge and skills that can help them succeed in their chosen career paths. And similarly, good health has value because it allows us to choose how we live our lives and to live to the fullest and to pursue our goals and aspirations, right? We can't do that if we're sick. Worth, on the other hand, is a measure of the monetary value on something. And this can be determined by factors such as supply and demand, scarcity, the cost of production, availability, and so forth. For example, a piece of artwork may have a high worth because it's rare and it's highly sought after by collectors, even though the art itself may not have any intrinsic value beyond its aesthetic appeal. In other words, the materials used to create that artwork aren't valuable on their own, right? They were given value, they were given worth based off of how the artist used them. And it's important to note that while value and worth are distinct concepts, they can be interconnected. So again, for an example, the college education or education in general, it may have both value and worth, as it can provide individuals with skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in their careers while also commanding a high price in the job market. So similarly, a piece of artwork may have both artistic value and a high worth due to its rarity and demand among collectors and its materials, like a piece of gold jewelry, for example. When making decisions about what to pursue or acquire in our lives, it's important to consider both the value and the worth of these things. And this is true for how our target markets view whatever product or service we are giving to them, we are providing to them as well. So something may have a high worth, but it does not necessarily have the same level of value. Like a luxury car may have a high worth due to its price tag, but it may not necessarily have the same level of value as a reliable and fuel-efficient car that can provide individuals with the same transportation that they need to get to work and to carry out their daily activities. So ultimately, the decision to pursue or acquire something by our target market, by our target audience, should be based on a consideration of both its value and its worth. And as an entrepreneur, you need to consider that. So while it's important to consider the monetary value of something, like how much it costs you to produce your product or to provide your service, it is equally important to consider the inherent qualities and attributes that make your product or service desirable or useful. And especially when it comes to the outcome of doing business with you, right? The outcome that you are providing your target audience. So while entrepreneurship is a path, and it is often seen as a path to financial success and to personal fulfillment, and that is true, you need to also consider your own motivation, your own desire to create something of value, to solve problems, to make a positive impact on the world, right? And you need to learn how to transfer that desire into a worth, right? Into something of value and worth to your customers. You can do this by looking at the need in the market, right? And developing a solution that meets that need. That's how you create value. So a new software application, a new app, something that simplifies a tedious process for businesses, right? That could be seen as valuable. So while that app or that software that's designed might not cost a lot to develop, the worth is found in how much it's actually saving the consumer, the customer on the other end. You know, everything has a price. We all know that we either pay in time or money, but it's not just about what it costs somebody. It's also about what it saves them. So this software that simplifies a process could save your potential target market a bunch of time, right? By utilizing your your new software, your new app that helps them to crunch down on how much time they're spending on a tedious process. One thing that entrepreneurs can sometimes fall into is focusing on developing products or services that are highly profitable, even if they don't actually address a real need in the market or contribute in a meaningful way. This leads to a proliferation of products and services that are highly valued in the short term, but ultimately they don't stand the test of time, which is one of the reasons why there's such a drop off in the market for businesses that have been around past 5 years, right? Conversely, entrepreneurs who focus on creating value often find that their products or services are highly sought after and profitable in the long run. You need to know which one of these things you are doing, because it can be profitable and maybe it is part of your overall business plan to create something that will be a hit for a short period of time. Like, for example, those fidget spinners that everybody was having in 2019 and 2020 for their kids, right? Those little devices that would occupy their mind and their physical need to express themselves in the classroom, but those things kind of went away with the pandemic and the homeschooling need for kids to stay at home. Those things kind of went away, right? But if you were ahead of the curve and you knew this is going to be a hit for, some sort of novel product for a short period of time, and I'm going to take whatever money I make from that to fund a business that I know is going to last in the long run, that can be a great business strategy. It's just important that you understand which one of these you're using, right? You need to understand the business plan that you have, not just for your current business or the business that you ideally want to start, but also how that could impact things down the road. So the pursuit of value over worth can be a key factor in the success of any entrepreneurial venture, unless it's tied to a bigger plan, like I just mentioned just right now. So when you create something that's truly valuable, you can build a loyal customer base and you can establish yourself as a leader in that industry while you're making a lasting impact on the world, which is fulfilling, one of the key desires that you likely have as an entrepreneur. While the pursuit of financial success, again, is certainly important, it should not come at the expense of creating real value and making a positive contribution to society, because your name is everything. So no matter if you have a small business over here, you start another business over here, it's your name, it's your personal brand that is behind whatever business face that you develop. And when you learn the value that you have, when you develop your own value as an entrepreneur, that naturally flows into everything else that you touch. You will naturally pick people who will add value to your business. When you are hiring them or you're going into business with somebody, you're naturally going to be drawn to the types of activities, the types of products or services that you would develop that would add value to your target market, because it's intrinsic to who you are. This is how you do things with not only excellence, but again, you can establish what you are creating in the world, and it will stand the test of time. So I hope this video has helped you understand the difference between worth and value as an entrepreneur, and how to kind of balance these things, and also, ultimately how to market these things better to your target audience. And if you want to know what makes businesses successful, then I want you to check out this video next, which addresses that question specifically.